Hey, how's it going, guys? It's me, Orange here, and today I bring you the Datastore tutorial. You guys have been begging me to make this tutorial from the very first day I started this scripting series, and if you guys want that tutorial so much, then so be it. I'll give you guys this tutorial. Now, warning though, this is going to be a very long tutorial and it will be very advanced, so before direct messaging me or complaining that it does not work, please look over the script. Make sure you pause the video a lot, make sure everything like capitalizations are the exact same. Alright, I gotta go soon, so I'll get this started right now. So first things first, like always, what you want to do is open up your little place. This place is obviously going to be the place where we create the script. Now this is only one type of Datastore script. I'm going to be making it fairly advanced, like a lot of features, so that it's customizable. But this is Datastore number 1. Alright, I'm gonna make more. Alright, this is number 1. So to start off, number 1, we are going to have a save button. Alright, there is going to be an auto save feature plus a save button. Alright, now obviously to start you want a script because Datastore only works on scripts. Alright, so also another warning, I'm going to type a little slower just to help you guys out. Alright, so to start off, we want the services such as local players equals local players equals game get service get children players. Alright, next we want the Datastore service game get service Datastore service. I'm gonna capitalize the S, and local data store equals Datastore service get Datastore and then whatever you want to call it. So let me explain. Alright, so this is the Datastore service. Basically you need it if you want to mess with data, and this is players. We're going to need that if we want to auto save. And what Datastore is basically your storage. Think of it as like your house. Just name your house whatever you want, and normally the name would be something like black orange 3343 stats Datastore, something like that. It doesn't really matter, but changing this will completely reset the data, so it's kind of good if you want like complete data resets. So just call it like Datastore, and then give it a code or something, 0 whatever, it really doesn't matter. Alright, so in this case I'm just gonna say YouTube tutorial V01. Alright, so now that we got our Datastore, there is a few things we want to do. List settings. So these are basically what makes this Datastore very good. Alright, this Datastore is very good in my opinion because its autosave is not save everyone's data at the exact same time. It is actually save every 3 minutes individually for each player. So it logs what time you saved before, so that if one person joins, they will save at 3-minute mark in game, and then if a second person joins as well during that 3 minutes mark, their data will be saved at a different time. This way it prevents lag, like server lag when you save. Everyone gets a lag spike. That's not good. So this is a really good way to store your data. Now obviously we're going to need this table, so data table. Alright, this table is not going to store the data, but we're going to call player save table. Let's call it player save table. No lower cases at all. Alright, next what we want to do is go ahead and add some settings. Alright, so for example, local auto save interval equals 180. I like to keep this at 3 minutes, mainly because we're going to add a save button as well for safe save purposes. Alright, again, I don't think I mentioned this, but I am terrible at Datastore, so I might need to look at Roblox Wikipedia or Roblox Developer Hub before continuing. Don't mind me, I'm just reviewing how to use the Datastore system. Alright, so now that we got autosave interval, what we want to do is create the data as well. So local local data equals, alright, we're gonna create a table. Now you want to be saving a certain type of data. For example, if your game has EXP or something like that. Alright, so let's just say our game has level. Now this isn't compatible with everything. You got to do this customly. So if you want to save something like face, what face you have, or something like that, you're gonna have to do this on your home. What you want to do is a game.player'sAdded function event, and then you just want to check what face the player has, and then you just basically load it in based on that. But anyway, we're going to assume that we only got a level stat of 0. Do note that the names here are going to matter. Alright, level stat 0. Actually, the level should start at 1. EXP 0, max EXP 0. Alright, now to be perfectly honest, max EXP is not really necessary to be saved. If you're the type of person who would love performance updates for your game, then this not really need to be saved. But some people would like it to be saved because it's actually kind of good. Alright, but it just means that every single time you join the game, no matter what level you are, the max EXP will reset. Well, again, you don't really need this. Reasoning is because you only save the level and EXP. The max EXP should be based on a formula. This is why it doesn't really matter. So this might be our formula. So at level 1, we need 100 EXP to get 0. So again, if you don't want max EXP, go ahead and remove it because it's not needed. Just create a new item, I guess, new instance, integer value, and then you can set the max EXP there and not save it, which will help you because, you know, less stuff to save, better. Alright, so now we got the data. What we want to do is a for loop. So we're going to start with a function. Alright, we're going to start with a custom function. This function is going to be called load starter data. Boom. Alright, now we're going to need 2 more functions. One is going to be called load data, and the other one is going to be called save data. And obviously we're going to need the player to do that, so we're going to put the player in here. Alright, make sure you put the player in brackets. Doesn't really matter, you just make sure you use the same player. And what we're going to do is do a for loop. Now here's the tricky part. If your data only has one type of value, so for example a number value, then this will be helpful. If it doesn't, then I suggest you do it the old-fashioned way, which is game.players, the player added connect function, and then local level equals instance dot new level, whatever, blah blah blah. But I like to keep it this way to keep it short. Now of course there is another option which I will search up to make this easier. I believe it's called type of. So yeah, I believe it is type of. So for stat name, stat value, in pairs data do. So we're going to go through. So what this section does, it goes through the data. All right, it goes through data, and it will go through everything inside, being stat name first and stat value. So basically what we're going to be doing is, if we do something with the stat name, then all of these will basically be affected. Alright, so to start off, what we want to do is go back up and create a stats folder. So local stats equals instance dot new folder, stats dot parent equals player, and of course we want to give it a name. Stats dot name equals stats. Alright, with that we can now parent stuff. So what we're going to do is if type of stat value equals number, I can't remember this, but else if type of stat value equals, so we're just checking what type of value is inside data, so that this way we can store all types of data. Now guys, let me just say this: you cannot store object values in Datastore. Alright, that is not possible. So there's not going to be one for object value. So we're going to do this, and we're actually just gonna print stuff to ensure that it's right. Yay. So it should print yay about 3 times. I don't see why I would print the others, but we can add some tests. So we're gonna add test1 equals true. Alright, that's a bool value. And we're going to add a test2, which is a string value. And we're just gonna see what happens, because again, oh yeah, I forgot to use it. Alright, we just gotta see what happens. So we're going to load, oh god. Alright, so going down, we're going to do players dot player added connect function player, and we're going to do load starter data play, and we're going to press play, and now we're just going to see what happens. So it printed B. I guess that is good. String, so it printed 1. So I'm going to guess the rest of them wasn't correct. What happens if I change this to int? It still prints B. A bool. Well, type of is really not easy to use, to be honest. Just gotta make sure stat value is correct here. Again guys, I'm going to have to go through some of this. I'm not the best with this stuff, Roblox stuff, and I do suggest you guys learn how to use this, because it's really helpful. If you are capable of learning how to Google stuff and then use the proper sources, you'll become a better scripter eventually, because practice makes perfect. We're just going to look for type of down here. Type returns number string bool. Alright, so I think we're going to be using this type. So I'm just going to remove this, remove of, and then we're just going to look in number boolean string. Believe those are the correct terms. Alright, those are the correct terms. So we're going to press play again. It should print for all of them. There we go. Alright, so now that we got the sorting done, we know how to sort the values properly. Again, this is going to be a little more advanced, so you can store, doesn't matter if you store bool values or string values. Now what we're going to do is actually create instances. Local int value equals instance.new int value. int value dot name equals stat name. So we don't have to set anything. This is a fully automatic. Dot value equals stat value, and int value dot parent equals stats. Boom. And basically we're just going to copy paste this in here, but change the type of value. So instead of int value, we're going to get a bool value. Instead of int value here, we're going to put string value. And we can change the name, doesn't really matter. Since they're in different sections, it doesn't matter. But for organization purposes, I like to rename all of these. Alright, so what this does, so this portion of the script should automatically load these stats into the player. Now you can take a good look at this. Alright guys, make sure to copy every bit down. Make sure that capitalizations are correct. Now this might take over like a couple hundred lines, but alright. So if we join and we look inside player, we should have a stats folder that contains the stats that we just listed in the script. Now this means automatic loading. If you wanted to add more stats, obviously you just put in stat name, hi, and then like say you're doing customization, face equals happy, something like that. It'll all work. Alright guys, now that we got the starter data down, we want to be able to save the data and load the data. Now what we're going to do is local data equals okay, this is the part I'm bad at, but get async no, oh okay, data store, don't put data store service, that was my bad. Data store get async user ID player dot user ID. Now you can put anything you want here. This is like a password, alright? This is your password. I like to keep it like this, but you can use whatever you want, alright? But just make sure you repeat this if we ever do this section again. If you see something dot player user ID, it's usually the key, alright? We call this the key because it's like basically the key, alright? So that being said, we're going to check if the player has data. So if data, then we're going to load it. Alright, so before we do anything though, I'm going to explain. So this here, this line, it gets the data, alright, and it can return either nil or a table or anything you save within this key. Alright, so if the player has data, alright, if the player has data, then what we're going to do is load the data. Else we want to be notified. Alright, print player.name has no data, generating data. Alright, this tells us that the player has no data. Now guys, before we continue again, I just want to say, do not save data on Roblox Studio. It's bad, alright? It lags, it can crash your game. It's not really good, so I don't suggest it. And if you're with me, then just follow along. Quickly edit line 3, drop down local run service equals game get service, oops, I keep saying get children, but run service. And then what we're going to do is head over to save data. I'm going to let you guys copy again. So I just want to make sure you guys are getting this. So go ahead and copy this, just pause the video. Alright, now go ahead and copy this, just pause the video and go ahead and go to line 51. If you're on the exact same lines as me, go to line 51 and do if run service is studio then return end. Now what this does is tells us if we are in studio, then stop. Alright, don't save the data. We can load the data because that's safer than saving the data. Saving data, I don't know, it kind of like pauses the game and has a chance of crashing it. And I don't normally want that, and we don't really need to save data in Roblox Studio. So that being said, back to loading data. If data, then for underscore stat name, stat value in pairs data do. Now we want to make sure, as you can see, these guys have the same name. So this can error. Alright, let me just say this can error, and to fix that, just change data to starter data. Right, and just change that to starter data. So change the name and 21 starter data. Alright, this way we don't get mixed up. This is why some codes fail, because you're putting the same name. Alright, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to do actually no, I have a better way of doing this. So for stat name for boom stat in pairs player dot stats. So remember guys, we have added a stats folder to the player, and we're gonna get that. We're going to loop through everything in there. So basically we're looping through everything in here. We're going to go through everything, and we're going to do we are going to do, let me think this out. Alright, I believe what we're going to do is get the name. Actually no, we're not doing this. My bad. Data. We're just gonna do that, and we're just going to change this to stat name stat value. Sorry guys, again, I'm terrible at Datastore, but eventually, couple hours, I can figure it out. Now that we got this down, what we're going to do is do player dot stats, and we're going to do this bracket thing, stat name. So let me just tell you what the bracket does, because a lot of people are curious. So when we do the decimal, the dot, we're actually indexing. Alright, now this is actually indexing as well. So the difference here is that player, so say we have a folder called hello with 2 spaces, hello. You'll see that this will start to error. It doesn't work like that. So an easy way to solve this is to add the square brackets and add the name in. Right, this is normally how we do it. Now you can also do it with one hello, it doesn't matter, but again, normally it's used for a space. Now you'll see this still errors, so you would remove the decimal. Now the only reason it's as a red line is because of the top line, so if I remove that, now this line will turn red because this line's not complete. So yeah, but basically it's used, so basically what I'm doing is just looking for the stat. Alright, so for example, in stats, I'm going to look for the level value and set the value to stat value. Boom. And in the end, we're going to print player.name player.name data has been loaded. Now we also have to p-call this local se equals p-call function. Oops. Oh damn. Alright. So actually no, I'm not going to p-call that. Actually I am going to p-call that local data So you might be wondering what the hell am I doing? Well, what 𝐃𝐻𝐸 does is if there is an error, it will notify you if you want it to. But basically, if there is an error, it will go along without like saying it's an error and stopping the entire script. So when I do local data with nothing else behind it, it usually means local data equals nil. And this here is just updating the data so that it's either nil or something, and here we still check the same thing. Now go down if you want the system to notify you, so just do if s then print getting player.name . Now we're gonna use the double. Now you might be wondering why we're switching over. There's a lot to learn, guys, but you might be wondering why I'm switching over. Main reason is because you can't really do 3 of these, and that's going to mess the script up. So if you want to have this 1 dot thingy, then you're going to need the 2s. Getting players data was successful. I can't spell. Hopefully this is correct. Let me just, oh god damn it, I messed in the, alright, we're just gonna add an E in there. Okay, and else we're just going to warn something went wrong when loading player.name data. Alright, this will just, it's a little system, will tell us what's going on. Alright, and it's always good because you'll know what's going on. Hey, what's wrong? And you'll be able to tell because the code is telling you. Alright, now we load data, and obviously when the player is added, we load data. We want to make sure that if they do have existing data saves, then make sure we load it. I mean, what else are we going to do with it? Alright, next, saving. Alright, now this part is, it's pretty similar to the part we did before. We're going to need a table though. So local data equals open bracket, close bracket. Now the reason we're using data so many times is because, as you can see, this data is within this function, and the function ends right here, meaning that this data, since it is not a global variable, it will not get out of this function, right? While this data, it's also in a function. So you can have the same names if they're in different functions, but if you have like a name right here called data, these guys might take it as that, which is not what we want. Alright, so local data. One more thing, when the player leaves, we want to save their data. So players.player removing connect function. Make sure you get all of this down. Save data player. Alright guys, so this is our basic setup. As you can see, since we have so many functions, we only have to like type 2 lines, so it's really convenient to know that when the player added, we're just running 2 lines of code. That being said, back to saving data. Man, my throat is getting a little dry here talking. Alright, so what we're going to do is loop through the player data. So for underscore, the reason we use underscore is because we're not going to be using this, so we're just gonna make it like something we won't ever use. So for that, stat in pairs player dot stats get children do, we're going to get the stats. I believe it's data. Alright, so we're gonna add the stats, stat dot name equals stat value. So what we're going to do is basically add all these. So when I do this, it's creating new items within the data. So in the end, after this code, the data would probably look like level equals 1, exp equals 0, etc. Alright, so basically this just loads it in, and then at the very end, what we're going to do is obviously save the data, and local ese equals pcall function. And I think that's really it for I don't think we need anything else, I'm pretty sure, but continuing this, local se equals pcall function, and we're going to do Datastore set async. Now get async and set async are different, just note that. Don't put get async again. Get async user ID. Alright, here is when you use the same key. Make sure it is the exact same. If you add a space here, then add a space there as well, or also get different stuff. Alright, everything must be the same. I'm going to repeat this a lot because this is really simple. All you guys gotta do is copy. I'm here explaining it so that you guys maybe will learn a little bit. But continuing on, we're going to put player.userid because that's what we did earlier. Alright, now we got this down. What we're going to do is if s then print player.name as data has been successfully I really hate spelling. Great, I missed the nest this time. Okay. Successfully saved. Else warn. We're going to warn something went wrong while saving player.name. So we want a space here if we want it to look nice. Player.name data. Now let me guys just say this is completely unnecessary, so you can remove this if you would like to, but go ahead and copy every single bit of this code. And basically we are done, guys. Yes, we're basically done. And with that being said, you can add just a few notes. You can add anything you would like here. Alright, you can add anything you like. Alright, new data, go ahead. If you want to completely reset data for every single player, alright, no matter what player, every single player, go ahead to this and change the name. That's all you have to do. You can change this 01 to 02, and that would make the difference. Alright, now we're going to add the auto saving feature. Let me think here. Alright, so we're going to do while true do. We want an infinite loop, wait, autosave interval. Actually no, we're not waiting autosave interval. While true do, wait 1. We're gonna wait 1 second. Alright, I gotta think how to do this. I'm sorry guys. Oh yes, so when the player is added, we want to go to player data, player save table, the player equals tick. So we're setting the time. Alright, so when they join, their time will be set to tick. I'm not familiar with tick, but I have a very small idea of how it works, so just bear with me. Alright, so while true do, alright, for bam player in pairs, players get players do. I know this is a lot of players. Make sure this one does not have an S, this one has an S, and you're getting the players. Alright, if player save data, player minus autosave interval is actually no, not minus. So if the time you join is bigger or equal to autosave interval, then print data can be saved. Else, now notice we're not saving the data. I want to test this out so that we don't actually mess up and start saving data every 2 seconds. Alright, I'm gonna set this to 1 and see what happens. So data can be saved is printing multiple times. This is bad, because if we actually just went ahead and did it, it would be saving every minute, which would basically break your game. So as you can see, getting players data was successful. I don't know why this printed. Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. So you generate new data, can be saved. Now this should not be can be saved, just gonna say bigger, smaller, or equal to. Alright, now let's go ahead and test it. It should only print. Alright, so wait for it. Wait a minute. No. The old one was actually right, because I just noticed that I changed the autosave interval to 1 second. My bad. Alright, so let's change it to 2 seconds. This way we can see it should be like a repeated loop of wait for it, can be saved, wait for it, can be saved. So data can be saved. 1, 2, 3. Oh yes, we forgot to update. Right, so this is why it's really good, because you can come to you will start noticing, hey, I didn't do something, which is good. I noticed that I wasn't updating this. If I was, then player save data player, we're gonna update it so that it's new. All right, we're gonna freshen up the time. Let's see. Data can be saved. It's not supposed to happen. Wait for it. Maybe the time is too low. Hopefully it's not too low. 5 seconds. No. So something's wrong. Something's definitely wrong. I don't really know what is wrong. Unless I'm gonna do this. Smaller, equal. Let's give that a try. Alright, let's see what happens. Wait for it. Aww. Alright, it went overboard. Maybe we gotta update the time. I gotta think this through, because each time I do this, I don't know why. I did this so many times before, and yet I'm failing very badly at this. Wait. So testing is very important when it comes to scripting. Just make sure you keep basically testing it. I'm supposed to subtract, maybe. Oh yes, I am supposed to subtract. What the hell am I doing? My bad, guys. I don't know what I've been doing the entire time. Wait for it. It should print now. No. Alright, I went overboard. Oh yes. Tick should come first, I'm pretty sure. Let's give tick. If we give tick first, what would happen? This is all about testing, guys. Very sorry, but you guys wanted this, so I'll just have to test it out with you. 4, 5. Yes. Alright, there we go. So every 5 seconds we'll be saving the data. Beautiful. Alright, so that being said, now what we can do is remove this else statement. Now that we got the proper formula down, so if tick minus player save data table, so you might be wondering, how are we minusing this? Well, remember when we joined the game we set the time. Yeah, so basically that helps us set the time. They only joined the game once, so they set the time and boom, everything start working like magic. Alright, so now what we want to do is save data. So just quickly do save data player, and there we go. Now we just gotta change the time back to 180 before you guys crash. Make sure you do that, and I'm going to let you guys copy this script one more time. Go ahead and pause right here, and then go ahead and pause right here. Go ahead and pause right here, and go ahead and pause right here. So this is right under the load data, and go ahead and pause right here. The loop. Alright, this is a really good system. Alright, now we want to add, we got the automatic saving, and saving is basically done. Automatic saving, bam, we are done. So what's next? Well, if we want to add a what's it called, text button, we're gonna call this save button. If we want to add a save button, like you make a Pokemon game, something like that, just put the text save. You guys customize button whatever, however you like. We're going to need a remote event though. Alright, so ignore this. This is from my previous tutorial, which you can check out. Alright, go ahead and check it out, pretty cool. So just go to replicated storage, add a remote event, call it save event. Make sure the name is exactly right, guys. Alright, and go to the UI. After you inserted it, go insert a local script into the save button. Alright, this way I don't care what type of button you have, but as long as you have a button and this script is inside the button, everything will work. So script.parent.mouse button one down connect function. We're going to fire the event. We can make it so that you can save automatically save manually every 60 seconds. So what we're going to do is game.replicateStorage.save event fire server. Alright, we're gonna fire server, and then what we're going to do is, oh yeah, do I need to add player? I don't remember. No, I don't think so. Alright, we're gonna fire server, and then we're gonna do script.parent.visible equals false. Alright, wait 60 seconds. So this way you don't spam the save button and be like, yeah, I'm gonna save multiple times within a second. No, every 60 seconds you get the choice. Alright, this way you don't crash game either. Now, how do I add it to the script? Well, it's very simple. Just go on top of the player added, drop 2 lines, go to replicated storage. So if you want, I would go to the very top, local replicated storage. Oh my god, stupid children. Alright, and or you guys can do game.replicated storage, but I like to keep variables. Get replicated storage dot save event dot on server event next function player save data player, bam. And that is it for our data store tutorial. I'm going to test this out in game, which I will do now. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I know this must have been a very long tutorial, 43 minutes, holy shit. Alright, this must have been very long, but I will show you guys how this system works. So automatic saving, it's a 100% yes, because we saw the prints. But when the data saves, we made it so that it will print. So basically, as you can see, getting my data was successful, no data generating. If we press save, it will print that my data has been saved. Alright guys, I am back, and I just noticed something, that no matter what I do, it's going to do this. Why? Because we forgot to freaking actually save the data. So how do we do it? Well, just hop back to the script, go to the save data function, and head over to line 71 if you're on the same line, and do a comma and put in data. Alright, this will save the data. Alright, we were saving nothing, so there was nothing to be saved. And yeah, so I'm going to let you guys copy one last time. Actually, we can test it out first. Just going to close out of the script, publish, head over to YouTube tutorials, shut down, and press play. Now, I'm confident the system works, so I'm going to do multiple tests with you guys. So, F9, boom, 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 save, data has been successfully saved. Now, what I'm going to do is, when I join again, to prove that this works, it should not print this. Black and orange has no data, generating new data. This should not print because I'm no longer new. I saved data, so I'm no longer new. And if I join, it should not print that and actually print that my data was loaded. And as you can see, it says that my data has been loaded. So to do another experiment to prove that this script actually works, and if it does not work, then you guys need to do something. Game.players.black-orange-3343yt.stats.level.value equals 10. Alright, so I set my level value to 10. So we're going to save and come back. And if the value is still 10, then well, the system works. Alright, it's been proven. So let's go for one more. Alright, and we're going to, now you might be wondering how we're going to do this. We're simply going to print the value. Alright, that's simple. So boom, has been loaded. Print game.players.black-orange-3343_yt.stats. Ignore that. Stats.level. Now make sure the capitalization's everything. Alright. And boom, the level is 10, which proves that this works. So thank you guys very much for joining me on this very long ass video. And if you guys did enjoy or this helped you in any way possible, make sure to drop a like, because this system's pretty efficient, good for performance, and high quality. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the script. I did remaking this. I mean, every single time I make a new game, I basically re-script this, and trust me, this is actually pretty high quality, good for performance, good setup, everything like that. So I'll let you guys copy one last time. So here is line 1 to line 26. Go ahead and pause. Next, going on, we're going to go to line 22 to line 47. Alright, just look at the load starter data function, pause, going to load data. Alright, this entire portion, going to save data. Alright, and then we're going to go to the save button and stuff like that. As you can see, the save button's really efficient because you can just save before leaving, so that you got like 2 data saving, you know, good stuff. And the loop.